Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. This guy is so interesting to talk to, and he's got so many relatable things that he can share insight on, of things that we're dealing with and how to move our lives to, in a better place with our journey. Peter Schenk joins us, and he is the founder at Modern Day Mystic. Hey, Peter, how you doing today?
Doing great, Steve. Thanks for having me back.
Are we going to do it?
I'm sorry?
Are we, is this happening now? I mean, I'm ready. This time I'm ready.
Oh, right.
Usually I'm not, but this time I am.
Okay. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, typically before I do a show, I like to bless a glass of water or a bottle of water. Energy that's in physical form or non-physical form will do anything for you as long as you acknowledge its existence. And the highest form of acknowledgement you can give energy is a simple blessing with 8 sacred words. So with that said, you just put your glass in front of you, you raise your left hand over it about 3 inches, and you spread your fingers. In a second, you'll start to feel that energy run down through your hand into the water. That can come.
Can I say the 8 words? Because I think I have it committed to memory now.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. I honor the space in which you exist.
That's it.
Oh, there we go.
In a few seconds, you'll start to feel that energy increase through your hand into the water. This type of, you can go ahead and drink it, and you'll notice.
I actually feel the heat. I'm not kidding. No,
absolutely.
Wow.
And what you'll notice is the taste and the texture is completely different. So years ago, 20 years ago, I discovered the work of Dr. Mario. I call him Dr. Emoto. He's a brilliant Japanese researcher that proved that you could change the structure of water based on a frequency that you put through it. And when I started playing around with software, once upon a time, this kind of ritual came into being, and it's very, very simple. And once the water is inside your body, it starts to move energetically to different parts of your body. Some of it might need healing. Some of it, might need nourishment. It changes the vibration. But this is just a goodwill blessing that kind of sets the tone for the show to ensue.
So we've done this, and I haven't asked these questions, but now it's on my mind.
Sure.
After you bless the water, how is it different going into your body, or is it?
So physically, there's no difference. Water is water. But what is different is the structure of the water. If you had the capacity to take that bottle of water and you pour half of it out before you did that ritual, that blessing, then you did the blessing and you froze both halves of it, and you sliced it thin and looked at it under a microscope, the one that has the blessing would be geometrically perfect in every facet. The one that's not would just be broken and crumbly.
Would you see that under a microscope?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just look up Dr. Emoto's work, and he's got thousands of pictures and examples. I mean, he's written some fantastic books, Messages in Water, and it just goes on and on. I mean, this guy devoted his entire life to his craft and proving that this is all possible. I actually interviewed his assistant of 20 years, Shadini LaRae, back in 2014, 2015. And I had sent her at the time a copy of the software, Aquaware. And she was so blown away by what I had created, because I had taken his work to a whole nother level. And this is a lady that knew him intimately. And she said to me, he would be so proud of me if he was alive. He died in 2014. I interviewed her after his death. But he would be so proud of me by what I had accomplished just through the software.
Amazing. Yeah. And it speaks volumes, because we talk about energy, and energy is everything. If you're watching and listening and haven't figured that out yet, and I was you as that person, and I did, and it is just amazing what energy can do, how you can use your energy or energy around you to heal and move your life forward. And that being said, with the water, for years, centuries, there's blessings. You have a blessing before you have Thanksgiving dinner, whatever it might be. And I just thought it was some nice words to say, whatever.
Why,
No,
why do you think growing up that we all used to hold hands and say grace around the table? Or maybe you still do it at Christmas dinner. What was the school of thought in that?
um, togetherness and being grateful.
Exactly. But if you follow its heritage back through time, it was actually to raise the vibration of the food. It literally tastes better after a blessing.
I believe it. And I know people who do Reiki, and I had my first Reiki session 2-3 months ago virtually. I'm almost embarrassed to admit that, working in the metaphysical world, even 10 years ago, and work with, some major people in that category, never did it. The people that I know that practice Reiki do it on their food,
Yeah, sure.
because
So
it makes the food more pure going into your body and tastes better.
I actually developed a product line called the Terra Resonators specifically for that. So the idea was to have a quartz crystal plate, just a 12 by 12 square, whatever size it was. And it would have laser engraved 3-dimensional geometry in it, typically the flower of life. And it would sit on 4 pedestals with a base underneath. And there would be a certain sequence of crystals, like the Terra Resonator Black actually uses a meteorite underneath it from De Campo in Argentina. It fell a couple thousand years ago, and the pieces in the middle have sacred geometry all the way around it, and then on the outer ones, we at the time used moldavite, which only comes from 1 or 2 places in the world. I had a line to the Czech Republic where I used to get mine, and rubies, uncut rubies from India, 8 of them, all the way around it. And the idea was that once this ensemble is put together, anything that you place on that quartz crystal plate will instantly vibrate higher in 33 seconds. Instantly. So if you take a plate of food and you put it on there, it goes to a whole nother level. If you put a glass of wine on there, it'll take the acidity right out of it. You won't get a headache. You can put supplements, vitamins, your face cream on there, anything, it vibrates higher. And when something is vibrating higher, it's going to work to the nth degree that much better for you.
I recently heard, I'm pretty sure it was moldavite, that it's rare at this point, and there are people actually in other countries counterfeiting it.
So moldavite, in my experience, in my opinion, is one of the highest vibrating stones there are. It only comes out of 1 or 2 places in the world, and that is the Czech Republic. And apparently it was created when this meteor hit however long ago. Moldavite is beautiful. Okay. The problem is they're having problems in the Czech Republic, first of all, finding new deposits, but second, the existing deposits, they're having a hard time getting the paperwork so they can go and mine it. Now, when I was introduced to it 6-7 years ago, I was buying kilos of this jewelry quality, absolutely beautiful. Then it went to about $80 a gram. And I typically have 40 grams, 10 gram beautiful pieces in stuff that I create. So the price just got out of hand, and I'm all about getting my products in the hands of the consumers at a reasonable price, something that they'll spend money on. So I moved to Libyan sand glass, which is absolutely beautiful and almost as mind-bending as Moldavite, but it's far less expensive. And in my experience, it delivers everything that Moldavite does, plus a couple offshoots that are really important for the product delivery.
So I want to share with you real quick before I forget, but I have a friend, Tina, who recently started checking out podcasts and checked out yours. And she said to me, I don't know what it is with that guy. Like, he just drew me in, and she finds it fascinating. And I'm sure other people think the same thing.
So, and I think I mentioned this before. Have you ever been in a busy place where you're enveloped in a conversation and someone walks in for 1 second, everyone stops for a microsecond, looks at that person, doesn't skip a beat, and continues on what they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. That person has unconditional love of self. So when I'm working like we are now, I have a tendency to light up, right? But when I'm out in the world, I kind of keep myself dumbed down on purpose because I don't want people noticing that light. That's just the way I like to roll. But in an environment like this, that's kind of safe, that unconditional love just starts oozing out. And it's, people on an unconscious level pick up on that automatically. You're just drawn to it.
Yeah.
Part of what I do too, Steve, is I don't follow anybody. Honestly, everything I do is through my own channels that I have grown over the years. And I know that the information that I'm getting is pure. It's not tainted. I don't follow anybody. Everything I do is fresh. It's new. It all represents past, present, and future, all in the now.
You're blazing trails. Really, that's what it is. Because I've never seen any of these type of products designed for what they do anywhere else. So moderndaymystic.com is your website. I consider you a modern day mystic. What is a modern day mystic for anybody that doesn't know? How would you define it?
So everything I do represents past, present, and future. It's ancient knowledge put together with state-of-the-art metallurgy, fabrication, digital processes, all in a futuristic design. In one of the other shows, I covered how we came to it, but what I do is clearly modern. Everything that's created is done with all modern metallurgy and all of that.
And you know what's interesting? I just want to jump in here, Peter. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's like, it's modern, but a lot of it is based on ancient principles.
All of it's based on ancient principles. And that's where the mystic part comes in.
Gotcha.
So I was going to hold off on this a little bit, but
and you're seeing it for the first. This is a brand new product, and we were going to save this till later, and I was going to talk about, hey, we're going to talk about it. This is super cool. This is wild.
So this is the world's first spiritual generator. I've had it a week. It has 3 magnets on the outside, and underneath this beautiful metal graphic is another one about the size of a CR battery you would find in a remote. And what it's designed to do is to disrupt time and space. Okay, it creates an extremely powerful vortex. You just put your attention on the center and you'll feel it instantly. You'll feel it just draw you in.
Wow.
Okay.
Seriously.
So the first thing I did, and you'll see videos of this in the next month, is I put this on the ground I just put it on the ground, and I have one person stand on one side and one person stand on the other, and it's videotaping. It doesn't matter how tall or how short you are. When you switch positions, you are moving over a field or entering the field that disrupts time and space. So one person is going to be perceived as taller and the other person's going to be perceived as shorter. Although the physical space around you doesn't change, the people change.
So, all right, and that's on video. You have video of that where the people
Absolutely.
How is that happening? How are we? Why is the video picking it up? But if we were to look at it,
Oh, no. You can look at it and physically see
in
it.
real time, right there. Okay.
Right there. The only reason I can't make the claim as to physically seeing it is because I only had the camera and it was me and another person. So there was no one there to observe it from the side. But as the observer, when you're looking at the other person, you see the changes looking right across because you're looking across a vortex. And a vortex will disrupt everything in your reality. Your five senses cannot hone into it, and it disrupts everything. Now, this is a byproduct of what this product is going to do in the consumer market, but rest assured, when it does hit the website, they're going to be gone quick.
Wow. All right. Can we boil that down a little deeper? Can I ask you questions about that?
Oh, sure.
Hold it up again. So why is the shape significant? You have these openings and the magnets, and of course the graphic in the middle. Why is the shape so important?
That's a great question. So a long time ago, I gave myself over completely to the universe and said, make it happen. Give me what you want. And what I learned was to never question anything. I don't use my brain because it implies logic. I don't use my heart because it invokes emotion. I go with my gut. 99.9% of the time, the way I perceive reality and refine a plan that's given to me, I never question it. I was just shown that this is the way it needs to be made. And I went off to my manufacturer with their engineering team, and we sat down and we got to work, and this is what it was.
Wow. It's funny because I say the same thing. I go with my gut.
Absolutely.
I try as much as possible. And sometimes it's hard to hear your gut unless you call it meditate or just get in a quiet space and just listen. What are you telling me right now? What do you got for me? And 90% of the time it's right. And all the times I've ignored it, and I could write them all down for you. And here you go. I was critically wrong, like major life decisions. It was all right there, and it's all inside us, that the answers are there if you listen. But you're right. You need to turn off your brain, your heart, get that out of the way, and just go with this thing, whatever it is.
And it's never been wrong. But the times that I had gone against what my gut was telling me, the projects did not turn out the way I needed them to. So
I don't know if you just saw what just happened.
Yeah.
And I have goosebumps, but we're talking about this energy stuff. I've never had a power glitch in this facility studio.
Well,
it just went.
If you think about it, every interview we've done so far has had a glitch, whether it's a camera turning off or me just dropping out of the show or that. So.
Like weirdness, like goosebumps. I'm a guy and I got goosebumps. What just happened? I'm like, what? And for a second there, I'm like, are we going off? Are we done? No, we're still on. It wasn't even fast enough to take us off. But you see the video.
I saw it.
It was bizarre.
That's the power of vibration.
When
you're everything in existence vibrates at different levels. And when you come into contact with something that vibrates at a higher level, your etherical twin, your light body, instantly vibrates at that level. But the physical body takes about 72 hours to get there. And that's where detox comes in. And we all know what that is. That's horrible.
Can I share something with you?
Sure.
While we were talking about the gut thing, in my mind, I for a split second, I was marinating with something that's been on my mind and going with my gut. And that's where that flash happened.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, yeah, jerk, that's the right answer. Listen to it. Hello.
That's a deja vu. It's a blip in the matrix, a synchronicity. I mean, it happens to us all the time. Sometimes if it needs to be strong enough, it'll manifest like that and just make you think in a different direction. That's why, I learned a long time ago, just go with your gut.
Yeah.
It never leads you wrong, ever. So going with my gut produced the first generation of a spiritual vortex. And this, over time, will spawn, an entire line of products just from this. So, you have to run it through the whole way.
So that product right there, and I don't know if that's a prototype or that's the beginning stages of part one.
Prototype.
Okay. We know that it changes energy based on what you just explained. How would we use that in everyday life?
So, and again, I can't believe I'm telling you this, but the way I typically operate is I'm a doer. I'm the first one through the burning door. I'll ask questions later. So in years past, when developing a product, the idea would come, you would refine it in your head, then you would engineer it, move to a prototype. And by the time you got the prototype, you already knew exactly what it was going to do. I have no idea how this is going to serve somebody because I haven't gotten there yet. What I was told to do was create it, get prototypes made, test it, and then the rest will come. So we're in that waiting stage where the universe is expecting me to test this, and then upon the refinement of the testing, then what it's going to do as a product at large will be delivered.
So we know that it changes energy based on seeing.
Huge, but it does it physically. This is the first product that I've ever created that will show you in a real-time video someone taller and shorter than each other, and you'll just see it. There's no tricks in the camera, nothing. It's just warping time and space. When the vortex is given up, it operates outside the five senses, the principles that we navigate reality with. So when you see this on a video, your whole brain is like screaming. It's kind of like when I think it's called pareidolia, when a person looks at a picture of some, and these are designed like this, they're like all crazy. You have to extrapolate something out of it. And when the HFA force generator is creating a vortex, your mind is you just can't comprehend what you're seeing on any level, but yet it's there clear as day. So yeah, you're going to see some cool stuff.
Can't wait. I seriously can't. I wish we were in the same room so I could see it and give the testimony. Yes, the person got shorter based on what that did within the vortex.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. And even more, call it crazy if you want, or universal intervention. The fact that you got the message, this is what I got to do. You need to make this, and the rest will follow.
The hardest thing in life is stepping outside your comfort zone.
Totally.
So we're wired to live in a box. And if we get stressed out, we grow the box walls a little thicker and the ceiling in the basement a little bit higher. But just outside your comfort zone, if you can step outside that door for 1 second, the whole universe will support you in whatever your endeavors are. I had a 20-year career working for one of the world's largest investment banks. And I left. I left the security of a paycheck, a bonus, health benefits, all of it. And here I am today.
Yep. Well, it's why people are so afraid of change, because they don't want to take that next step because it's the fear of the unknown. But the universe, well, it's got your back.
The fear of the unknown says it all. The fear. Fear keeps you stuck, but it's not real. It's an illusion. You cannot, there is no reward in life without risk. And it's the fear that keeps you complacent and in line. Step outside your comfort zone for 1 second and watch how everything comes in to support you in whatever your endeavors are going to be.
And the pieces all fall into place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what is fear? Fear is something that's learned from past experiences. Because if you didn't have an experience, you wouldn't know what fear was.
Well, we know innately in our DNA that you're not going to stick your hand in fire because you're going to get burnt. But fear of getting up on a ladder because you might fall off is a fear that is learned based on what you said, something that's happened in a past experience.
Always fascinating talking with you, I got to tell you. And I wish that we had more time, because it's like we go down these roads or call them rabbit holes or whatever. And yeah, super cool. Maybe next time we could do call it an experiment, just show that product. We probably should have started talking about that at the beginning. We'd have more time. But good stuff. ModernDayMystic.com is the website. Go there, check it out. Products are there. I'm going to assume that one's not there yet because it's a prototype and it's so new, right?
Yeah, this will be probably in the late October timeframe.
Gotcha. All right, Peter, great talking with you, and looking forward to the next time we get together.
Thank you, Steve.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.